morning and welcome to Newsline. We're broadcasting live this morning from the fort in Colombo at the Police Mounted Division headquarters. And joining me this morning is DIG Senior DIG Pujita Jayasundara and the Group Director from the Capital Maharaj organization, Mr. Shivan Daniel. Good morning, DIG.
Good morning.
And how are you, Mr. Shivan, this morning?
Couldn't be better for us. Good morning.
Excellent. We're here at the Police Mounted Division, a unit that was set up in 1921, I'm told. And let me ask Senior DIG here, how many horses do you have, these majestic creatures?
At the moment we have 40 mounted.
And are they from different nationalities, these horses?
Yes, actually now most of the horses are from Netherlands.
I see.
Earlier we used to import the horses from India and Pakistan, but after that it's from Australia and from France. Now of course we have decided to get almost all the horses from Netherlands. These are all Netherlands horses.
And do these Netherlands horses, do they have certain special characteristics?
Yes, because what we have decided is to get the suitability to our weather conditions and especially the size of the horses very much better than the earlier one.
And then, and how do you measure the sizes of these horses then?
The horses' size are just measured by we call it a hand.
Okay.
One hand it's about 4 inches.
Okay.
So normally the healthy horse should have at least 14 hands.
14?
Yeah, that is about 56 inches.
And then which way do you measure? This
It's
way
in the
or
middle side, the middle.
from the bottom
Yeah,
upwards?
from the bottom down.
I see. I see. And so these would be about around the 14 hand size.
Yes, yes. Of course.
And can you tell us the history of the Mounted Division of Police then?
Actually, Sri Lanka Police was established in 1866. The Mounted Division was introduced to the police by the British in the year 1921. Then after that, it was in 1948, it was established as the police special section division,
right.
With 25 policemen, 1 sub-inspector, 2 sergeants and 23 constables.
Right.
In 1954, when the Queen Elizabeth came to the country, and it is they have presented the Mounted Division show, and they have been given a special OBV special certificate by the Queen.
I see. So these are also you've got sort of a Queen's authority here.
Yes, of course.
Good. I think he's finding my feet a bit interesting. Shaman, you went to was it Tajikistan, and you saw the lake where Alexander's horse ended his life. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the lake is called Alexander's Lake. It's in the mountains of Tajikistan, and I'm not sure everybody knows the legend of Alexander's horse, Bucephalus, legend says that he tamed the horse by finding out that he was afraid of his own shadow. So, again, legends say that Alexander's famous horse, Bucephalus, plunged into this lake called Alexander's Lake in Tajikistan when he heard that his master, the great Alexander, had died.
And on your trip, you found out that they had something called the Ministry of Horse.
That's in Turkmenistan,
right?
Another Central Asian nation. Yes, they have a multi-million-dollar facility that is dedicated to horses, and it's actually a ministry dedicated to horses. They have a minister for horses. It's part of national pride.
Right.
And it's a very, very important part of Turkmen culture. Now, initially, of course, we thought that was a little funny to have a ministry of horses.
Yeah.
But the Turkmen people found it equally funny that we have a ministry for coconuts.
Right. Well, you know, we have talks of cowboys and good cops and bad cops. And the FCID and the CID are very busy these days in this new good governance era. But that aside, let's see, DIG, is this your unit, the Police Mounted Divisions, the horses mainly used for ceremonial duties, is it?
You're correct. Yeah, exactly.
And what about any other operations that they do? Maybe?
Of course, the daily routine was they have been used for the traffic duties, peak hour duties in the morning and in the evening.
Right.
That's especially in Colombo, and we have another section in the Kandy.
Right.
And we used to have these daily routines. Other than that, of course, almost all the ceremonials where actually the president is attending the ceremonial opening of the parliament.
Yeah.
And when it comes to state guests, and when it comes to the diplomatic corps for the country, when they are assuming duties, of course, we do the ceremonial thing to the secretary. That's how we do it. And the Independence Day celebrations and all kind of ceremonial things, of course, we used to have the police forces.
And at the risk of breaking the Official Secrets Act, can you reveal whether either our President or Prime Minister has had a ride on one of these horses? Have they been riding? The Prime Minister?
Present?
Yes?
No.
No. But in the past you had plenty.
Yes, sometimes, yes.
Can you tell us who?
In the good old days, that is during the time of the father of the nation, yes, he was riding at that time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he fell down from the horse, the old horse, and then he was that's a very unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
That, of course, sometimes, time to time, of course, the leaders of the country used to have the police horses.
Right.
But it's not a routine.
It's not a routine.
Yeah.
And how about members of the public? Do you have any facility for them?
Of course, yes. We used to have. Of course, any public can make an application to the senior DIG
Yeah.
in Western Province and make an application. Of course, then they can have an opportunity to see the horses.
Right.
Or sometimes the school children are given the opportunity to even be with the horses and the right horses.
Right.
So we used to teach.
Right. What about the upkeep? How much do these horses cost?
Roughly about 3 million.
Okay.
The Netherlands horse cost us.
Right.
And it depends how it varies from horse to horse,
Yeah.
the age and the physical condition.
Yeah.
Roughly, normally it's about 3 million.
And in terms of their food and their medicine and so on, any idea what sort of costs is incurred then?
It's for the food and other requirements as well as the medicine and all. Of course, it's about from 8,000 to 10,000 rupees per month. We have the cost for each horse.
Right.
That's right.
At 3 million, they're rather cheaper than these police Land Rover Defenders. I saw an article that Land Rover Defenders cost about $43,000.
The thing is this now, the horses we take at the prestige of the police, Sri Lanka police, as well as the Sri Lanka government, as well as the people of this country. Of course, we have only the police have the official horses here in Sri Lanka.
Right.
So we have been given the authority to have that and use it for the special duties as well. So it's actually a prestige.
Yes, it appears to me that they're far more majestic and more prestigious than these $43,000 a piece Land Rover Discoveries, which has now found the attention as a separate matter of the FCID, who are now investigating matters in connection with Land Rovers and in their import to Sri Lanka. However, this is in the middle of Fort Senior DIG. It's an oasis of some tranquility. It's amazing, isn't it? Right in the middle?
Yes. This is our headquarters.
This is your headquarters.
This is headquarters. Other than that, we have another subsections in Kandy, Nuorelia, and very recently we have started locating of forces at the police college at Kalutara as well.
I see.
So we have got 4 locations at the moment with 48 forces.
And Mr. Daniel would love to be able to turn up here every morning and ride on these.
You know, for us, strange you should say that, because I grew up amongst, not these horses, but these stables, because one of my uncles was a police officer and he lived in the apartment complex right behind us.
Right.
And I used to come here very, very often and walk around the horses, and when nobody would be around, I'd try to feed them and learn quite a bit about horses, which is probably why I love them so much as an adult.
Well, they're actually wonderful. You could actually, from your apartment, you could sort of come here within a few minutes, couldn't you, on horseback?
Pardon, I didn't quite catch
Well,
it.
from your apartment to here, you
Yes.
could actually come on horseback within a few minutes.
I would do that in a heartbeat if I could.
Well, this morning we're missing my co-host Bandulu Jayasekara, who's he's kind of chickened out, I think, but it's a technical problem because he can't have four on this camera here. But it's absolutely great, Senior DIG, to be here. Does anybody in the police force have the opportunity to join the mounted division?
No, this is normally the rules and regulations. We have got the 3 levels of recruitment, that is constable, sub-inspector and probationary ASP. Normally the probationary assistant superintendents, when they join the police, after the basic training and the divisional and the practical training, but they must undergo a special training course on horseback.
Right.
And before the confirmation, of course, they have to get proof of the test. Other than that, there is a compulsory thing for the probationary ASPs. Likewise, that's what I've been doing for the last more than 30 years. So it's a love to be here with the horses and the riding. And the other rankers, of course, they get them recruited to the police college as constables and the sub-inspectors. We used to call for the applications. With their willingness, they can make an application and they can join the mounted division after the basic training. And they have to undergo and qualify themselves before getting to the horses permanently and go for duty. That's how it's going on. At the moment, we have got 83 officials on all ranks. The assistant superintendent in charge of this division.
Right.
So it's going on well.
And does your division help out in other sort of matters that, like police investigations or anything like that?
Of course, not the investigations, but in the special duties concerned when it comes to sports activities.
Right.
Like the good old days, of course, we used to have the horses on for the Dalada Perahara in Kandy. And some of the rides also we are entitled. We can do it, but normally we don't use these horses for that unless it is absolutely necessary.
I see. The Dalada Perahara, why have you all withdrawn the horses from that event?
Not withdrawn, of course, we have put them on duty, but on duty the Perahara time, of course, because of the inconvenience to the public, so of course we used to withdraw. Other than that, earlier, before the Perahara, of course, we used to put them into the roads and get the crowd control in that.
And the public at large obviously love these majestic animals, really. And do you think you might expand the operation to other parts of the country, perhaps in the former conflict areas in the north, perhaps?
I think it is that when the necessity comes, of course, we have to think about it. At the moment, of course, it's just confined to the Colombo capital city, then Kandian, and then when it comes to the very special requirements of other areas, we used to transport the horses and get the work done.
Right.
After that, of course, this is just confined to these areas. But when the necessity arrives, of course, we are in a position to do that. Yes.
Thank you, Senior Director. We'd like to remind our viewers that although the Capital Maharaja Group and TV1 and Sirsa spend a lot of money on going out on location to bring you a diverse reporting, we mustn't lose sight of the fact that during our Gammadda program, we have unearthed serious cases of abject poverty in deep in the villages of our country, and we hope to highlight these on a daily basis, every day as we go along, to bring to you an understanding of how real poverty is in parts of our country, and it's not all what you see here in Colombo and the suburbs. Is that right, Shivan?
Yes, indeed. For us, we've been traveling around Sri Lanka over the past couple of days. We're, I think, going to the 6th day today. 3 of our Newsfirst teams are in various parts of the island. What happened, how this started was the chairman believed that it was time that we listened to the people and heard what they had to say and go beyond reporting. And Gammadda, as you know, is a very popular village forum program that we conduct on our channels. And Newsfirst decided that it was time that we walked into villages and lived amongst villagers and hear what they had to say. And some of the revelations, some of what we've been hearing really leaves much to be desired of in a country like Sri Lanka, where we should be really living good, decent lives. Some of the people, most of the villages I would say, survive on a square meal a day. A family that I spoke to in Uba Paranagama, in fact more than one family, made do with just rice and one other dish. It was really heart-wrenching to hear what these people had to say, and kudos to our team. You know, for us the thing is, the Gammat, the Gaingeta team are really reporters, cameramen, directors, managers from the Newsfirst newsroom who are making extra time, spending their own time, even their holidays and breaks, etc., to travel around Sri Lanka in various convoys, listening to people. So, and we also like to mention here that University of Peradeniya has partnered us, and we are very honored about that, to help us collate the information that we collect, prepare a report, and then hand it over for action to the authorities concerned.
It's very commendable that these people from our team who give up their time, their own time actually, to put a little bit more in. And so there you go, viewers. It's not all glamour. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of work from the heart that goes into this sort of programming. And we must acknowledge the vision of our chairman, who's given us a free hand to go ahead and also who's sort of guided us there. And thank you very much for that, Chairman. Senior DIG, how do you see the security situation of our country now?
It's very satisfactory. We have somehow defeated the worst terrorism about years ago, about 7 years ago. Now it's coming to paper trend. Everybody is very positive about it, and very peaceful and people are expecting a lot of things from the police as well. So we do our best. Of course, there are some other failures also in some instances. Of course, we are big that we are going to rectify. We can have the better people friendly as well as some prestigious and professional policing.
And in your view, Senior DIG, does the police does it still remain an active place, a sort of a favorite place for people to join it?
Of course, because you know why? Now this is the only government organization where to maintain of law and order. Because we have a very big responsibility towards the people of this country. So we do our best to get the training done and get it expanded as a way that we want with the requirement of the country. And we have a lot of duties with regard to the VIP security, the normal law and order situation, judiciary duties, then the prevention of crime and controlling of crime. Then the main thing is another main thing is the narcotic control. So we have got a lot of things, and we need the public assistance for that. Of course, we have a special project on that. In each and every Gram Seka division of this country, we have the civil defense committees formed, and each and every police station we have the advisory committees to liaise with the people when it comes in themselves. So we do our best with the cooperation of the public, and we appeal to the public to get their cooperation and get their assistance. And of course, we have a big task in this maintaining of law and order. We do our best at the moment.
I see. Thank you. And in your view, or from your information, which is the most seriously pressing issue? Is it the issue of narcotics? Is it?
It's at the moment it is narcotics, as well as there are some other crimes committed against the ladies, the women, and the children. That is also has come up to a certain serious level.
So that's a rising level.
We are very concerned about it now. So we have got special sections on that, the law enactments, because we are doing our best to control it.
And what as the media, how can we help in promoting awareness or whatever? How can we help?
We do our awareness program when it comes to crime prevention, especially the anti-narcotic activities and all. And for that, of course, the media can give a very good support to get this message right across the people. In that way, I'm very happy to say the government media as well as your media is doing a very wonderful role. Even the today's one, to get the police in the minds of the people, of course, this is really a good attempt, and I'm very happy to say that the TV1, the Sirasa, and overall the capital Maharaja has done a good, commendable job. So I must thank for that.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure, of course. But you have an interesting story, I'm told. Didn't you have a sort of a small accident on a horse some time ago?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us that?
Yeah, I can remember we were getting ready for the anniversary parade.
Right.
And I was the second in command at that time. One of the senior DIGs, very senior DIG, was the parade commander. So we were getting ready with the horses for a number of days. And then since the previous day, we were doing the final practice sessions and the rehearsals as well.
Yeah.
So unexpectedly, one helicopter landed at the police grounds.
Yeah.
We never expected that it was not in the schedule also.
Right.
So I was having a very young and energetic horse called Tusal at that time.
Right.
So we just parked the horses and I heard the sounds.
Yeah.
And at once, of course, this horse got excited and started running.
Okay.
So I managed him with the one round of the police grounds, but when it comes the second round, of course, I fell down.
Okay.
The horse was very sensitive, as well as he knows the subjects, and he just went over me, but without touching. So, but anyway, I fell down. So I was at the hospital for about 7 to 8 hours. But then, anyway, the following day again, I got onto the horse and went to the parade. So that's a very big, quite interesting, but serious experience when I had the entire my period.
And it goes to show that experienced rider like the senior DIG can get into trouble with a horse. Just goes to show that you must treat these animals with a lot of respect.
Exactly.
They have a lot of dignity, I'm sure, senior DIG.
Yes.
So I think if you maintain that, you're all right on a horse.
That's right, Shani. I must say that the horse is a very sensitive animal. You don't want to be tough with the horse. It will be very calm and quiet. Of course, you have to treat the horse well, look after him well, and look to his requirements. Of course, he's very obedient and do the best. But when the rider got excited and doing some panicking, of course, the horse want to get him away from as soon as possible. He does some things.
What do they eat then?
But
what do they eat? Carrots?
They eat carrots. We used to get down the main food from Australia.
Okay.
That is some oats and barley and things like that.
But so horses are into imported food as well?
Yeah, that's right. So we have to do that. That's how they are in this physique.
But they look beautiful and they look well kept and so on.
Yeah. For us, just as a segue, you know that Sri Lanka has a long and illustrious history with horses.
Do they?
Yeah, there were, for instance, horse traders, not just in politics today, but horse trading went on in many thousands of years ago in Sri Lanka. And in fact, there were Sri Lankan kings who maintained large stables according to our historical texts.
Right.
So we do have a long history with horses, just as much as I suppose we have with elephants.
And wasn't that some horse traders who actually ruled the country?
Yes, Sena and Guttika. There were two South Indian horse traders who overthrew the king at the time and ruled for 21 years and until they were thrown out themselves.
I see. Well, we may even have a leader of the United States who's a businessman, if he had his way. So the world is very diverse, isn't it, Shivan?
Isn't that what makes it beautiful?
That is what makes it beautiful, just as is...
How boring it would be if these three horses looked alike. The fact that they're brown, white and black is really what it's all about.
That's right. That is what it's all about. And we hope to bring you a whole range more of diverse subjects, including Newsline from carried out during one of these Newsfirst Gammadda programs. So do watch this space. In the meantime, I think we've got a minute or two left, and I thought I'd ask Senior DIG to tell us What would you like? Is there anything more that the Police Mounted Division can do, or do you need more horses? Do you need more facilities?
At the moment, of course, we are happy what we have at the moment with the requirement or the requirement.
Right.
Because if the expansion take place in the future when it comes to the requirement, of course we need some facilities. Of course, we are planning out it. And annually, of course, if the requirement comes, of course, we need to import hoses. Of course, at the moment, it's sufficient for the requirement.
Right.
But if it's some of the commitments in the future, of course, we need to expand.
Excellent. Senior DIG Pujita Jayasundar, thank you very much for being on our program. Thank you for allowing News First and Newsline here. And Siobhan Daniel, thank you very much for joining Newsline.
For us, pleasure and a real honor to be seated next to the senior DIG and yourself. And of course, let's also thank these three beautiful beasts.
Absolutely.
And the teams behind them who made all of this possible. Thank you, and it was a fantastic experience.
Thank you, take care, and God bless.